The snow fell softly on Christmas Eve as Marcus Sullivan sat alone on a park bench. His black suit was dusted with white flakes, but he didn't seem to notice. The decorated Christmas tree behind him glowed with golden lights and red ribbons, while families walked by with shopping bags and laughter. But Marcus saw none of it. His phone had been silent for 3 days. No calls from his children. No messages. Nothing. At 58 years old, he had built an empire. Sullivan Technologies employed thousands. His name appeared in business magazines. People called him successful. But tonight, on this bench in the cold, he felt like the loneliest man in the world. His wife, Sarah, had passed 2 years ago. The cancer took her quickly. Too quickly. She had been the heart of their family. The one who remembered birthdays and planned holidays. The one who kept everyone connected. Without her, the family had drifted apart like autumn leaves in the wind. His daughter, Emma, was in California now, busy with her own life, her own career. His son, David, lived across town, but might as well have been across the ocean. They had grown distant, polite but distant. The kind of distance that hurts more than anger ever could. Marcus wiped his eyes with the back of his hand. A CEO crying in public. Sarah would have known what to say. She always did. But she was gone and he was here, and Christmas felt more like a cruel reminder than a celebration. That's when he heard the small voice. Clear as a bell in the quiet evening. "Don't cry, mister. You can borrow my mom." Marcus looked up. A little boy stood before him, maybe 4 years old, wearing a bright red winter coat and a tan knit hat with bare ears on top. Brown mittens covered his small hands. One hand held a paper gift bag. The other pointed back toward a young woman in a long gray coat. She was walking toward them carrying shopping bags. Her blonde hair fell around her shoulders. There was concern in her eyes as she approached. "Oh, sweetheart," the woman said gently. "We don't bother people who want to be alone." "But Mom," he said. The little boy looked up at Marcus with such earnest worry that something cracked open in the older man's chest. People shouldn't be sad at Christmas. Marcus found himself smiling despite everything. A real smile, the first in days. "It's all right," he said, his voice rough. "Your son is very kind." The woman smiled apologetically. "I'm Claire. This is my son Oliver. We were just heading home from some last-minute shopping." Oliver tugged on his mother's coat. "Mom, can we sit with him for a minute? Just so he's not alone." Claire looked at Marcus, searching his face. Whatever she saw there made her decision. "If it's okay with you," she said, "we'd be happy to keep you company." Marcus nodded, unable to speak for a moment. Oliver climbed up on the bench beside him. He opened his paper bag and pulled out a candy cane. "Here," he said, "this always makes me feel better." Marcus took the candy cane, his hands shaking slightly. "Thank you, Oliver. That's very generous." Claire sat on the other side of her son. "So what brings you to the park on Christmas Eve?" Marcus hesitated. Years of keeping his personal life private made him cautious. But something about this woman and her child made him want to tell the truth. "I'm here because I don't want to go home to an empty house." The words came out before he could stop them. "I lost my wife 2 years ago. My children are grown and busy with their own lives. I thought maybe being around people would help, even strangers." Claire's expression softened. "I understand more than you know. My husband left us when Oliver was 1. Said he wasn't ready to be a father. So it's been just the 2 of us for 3 years now. Some holidays are harder than others." Marcus looked at her, really looked at her. She was young, maybe in her late 20s. There were tired lines around her eyes, but also strength. The kind that comes from carrying weight you didn't ask for, but refuse to put down. "But you seem happy," he said. "Oliver certainly is." Claire smiled at her son. "We've learned to make our own traditions. Haven't we, buddy?" Oliver nodded enthusiastically. "We make cookies for Santa, and we watch the old Christmas movies, the ones Mommy watched when she was little, and we tell each other what we're grateful for." Marcus felt something stir in his chest. "My wife used to do that, make traditions. I never realized how much work it was, how much intention it took. I just showed up." Claire reached over and squeezed his hand briefly. It's not too late, you know. To start over. To reach out. Marcus shook his head. I wouldn't know where to begin. They're so busy. I don't want to be a burden. Do you think your kids want to hear from you? Claire asked. Or do you know they don't? There's a difference. The question landed like a stone in still water. Marcus realized he had been assuming, projecting his own fears onto his children. What if they're waiting for you to reach out? Claire continued. What if they think you don't need them because you're so successful, so self-sufficient? What if they're sitting in their own homes tonight, feeling just as alone? Oliver looked up at Marcus. You should call them, mister. That's what my mom does when she misses Grandma. She just calls. And then they both feel better. Marcus pulled out his phone, stared at it. The screen was dark and cold. What if they don't answer? Then you try again, Claire said simply. And again, until they do. Love doesn't give up, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Marcus dialed his daughter's number. His heart pounded as it rang once, twice, 3 times. Then her voice. Dad, is everything okay? Emma, he said, and his voice broke. I'm so sorry, honey. I've been a terrible father since your mother died. I pushed you away when I should have held on tighter. There was silence, then the sound of crying on the other end. Dad, I want to call you every day. But I thought you didn't want to be bothered. You always seem so busy, so closed off. I miss you. I miss Mom. I miss us. They talked for 20 minutes. Oliver played in the snow nearby, making snow angels, while Claire sat quietly, giving Marcus space but staying close. When he hung up, Marcus was crying again. But these tears were different. Emma's coming over tomorrow, he said. She wants to spend Christmas Day together. Just the 2 of us. Claire beamed. That's wonderful. He called his son next. That conversation was harder. More walls to break down. More hurt to acknowledge. But by the end, David had agreed to come for dinner the next evening. Marcus looked at Claire and Oliver, his vision blurred with grateful tears. You gave me my family back. How can I ever thank you? Claire stood and helped Oliver up from the snow. You don't need to thank us. Just promise me something. What? Don't waste the time you have left. None of us know how much we get. Make it count. Make it matter. Marcus stood too. He felt lighter somehow, as if something heavy had been lifted from his shoulders. I promise, he said. Then he looked at Oliver. And young man, thank you for sharing your mother with me. She's pretty great. Oliver grinned. I know, but you can't keep her. I need her. Marcus laughed. A real laugh. Deal. As they turned to leave, Marcus called out. Wait. Claire and Oliver turned back. Would you give me your number? I'd like to send something to thank you. Maybe take you both to dinner sometime. If you'd be comfortable with that. Claire studied him for a moment, then smiled and nodded. She wrote her number on a scrap of paper from her purse. Merry Christmas, Marcus. Merry Christmas, Claire. Oliver. He watched them walk away, mother and son hand in hand, the Christmas lights reflecting off the fresh snow. Then Marcus stood and walked toward home. His empty house didn't seem quite so empty anymore.